Hey everyone, welcome to the More Than Just Talk podcast. I'm your host, Rochelle Thompson, and I'm so excited for this week's episode. We have some of the most amazing people, community leaders, and true disciple makers of Christ here on today's episode. I have the privilege of knowing them as my friends and also like family. They're going to be here talking about all things dating, marriage, and navigating transitions. They'll be talking about how to fight fair in your marriage and what it looks like to find true, honest, authentic, God-loving people while dating. I'm excited, so let's get into it. Hey guys. Hey. Where are we at today? We're at your house.
Yeah. Like our living room.
Yeah, no, we're in your living room. I just have to say, shout out to you guys. Like, this is the definition of genuine friendship. The fact that we were able to bring all of the materials to your living room and film it here, literally do the podcast here, but it's exciting and all those things. So today we're talking about relationships.
Ooh.
You guys are married.
Are we?
How long have you been married?
Do you have a ring on?
Time out. First off, this is the interesting conversation. Do you think? Well, first of all, I don't know if you mind sharing. Where is your ring?
Puerto Rico.
Okay, so basically, I'm repping Puerto Rico in spirit right now because my ring is also there. So I'm wearing the hat as constellation.
We
Yeah,
went to
that's
Puerto
my
Rico
ring.
a year ago.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, a year ago, no ring has come back.
Yeah, and I mean, I've had several ring bands that
the silicone
the
band.
silicone band
Yeah.
stretched it out. It's put away neatly up on the shelf right now.
Yeah. Do you wear your ring often or just the silicone band, or were you wearing your ring regularly beforehand? I'm just curious.
I think so. I
Since it's
remember
been
wearing.
so long.
Yeah, I remember wearing all the time when we got married initially,
Yeah.
and then after a while, after Puerto Rico.
What
I guess-
happened? How did it get lost?
So we were on the beach at night, and end of story. We were too.
That makes it sound so weird. Rochelle was there too.
Like, wait a minute.
Like, what did you?
It just got
No,
lost.
we were at the beach. He took it off because we were going in the water. And then when we cleaned up at nighttime to go back to our hotel or wherever we were staying, the ring got lost.
Oh, during
sand.
like when we were cleaning off our feet. and
Yeah,
stuff
what?
like
Why you tell a story like that?
I thought
Edit that out. That was weird. That was so weird.
You know what I just remembered too? There were all those little bugs attacking us.
Yes,
Yes.
I
exactly.
forgot. And so there was so much going on. Were there there weird animals there too? It was
Yeah, there was
dark.
people digging holes and doing fires. There were
Yeah.
people fishing.
Yeah.
We walked probably a quarter of a mile down the beach too, and just away from our stuff.
Yeah.
And we came back and it was dark.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a prying question. Does it bother you that he doesn't have his ring?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I'm like, yeah, I wear my ring every
He said,
day.
you single and I'm
Honestly,
committed.
You look single. People we could be out and they might not know that you're my husband. I also just like the idea of both of us having rings. And I was gonna give him a new one. He said, but I kind of want to pick out one that I really like. And it's been a year. Where's this one that he really likes? I don't know.
You're on blast right now.
He is on blast.
Golly. They turned on the cameras and now I'm on the hot seat straight out the gate.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, she asked. I had to be honest.
I was genuinely curious. I was like, is this a thing? I mean, is that how do you guys deal with confrontation even? So let's just hop into it. In your marriage,
Right.
let's just jump in 10 toes in the fire.
Let's do it.
When you guys have been married for 2 years.
Next week.
Next week?
Next week.
Yeah.
Wow.
anniversary.
What the timing is amazing.
right?
No.
I sound like I was gonna curse. I wasn't gonna curse,
I
guys. This
know.
is a Christian
What
podcast.
the? Time is amazing.
But yeah, I guess what has been, or how have you guys handled conflict in your marriage?
You want me to jump in?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can start it off.
Okay. I'm definitely more conflict driven. What I mean by that is not that I'm like, boom, 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 let's fight.
Yeah.
But I'm not afraid of conflict. I lean in a lot. So I like having the conversations. I'm like, let's talk about it. Let's put it all out there. So I'm very much like let's get into it. And then if you want to say,
And I was more of a, all right, this too shall pass.
Yeah. How does that create tension though? Because like you're over here on one end saying, I want to address this conflict. Let's talk about it. And then
Yeah.
he's like, well, we're going to get over it at some point.
yeah, let's just avoid it until never
Yeah.
you don't have the end.
I guess when did you, even before being married, when did you realize it was a problem? Not a problem, but when did you realize this is going to be a challenge?
No, it was a problem.
Oh, it was a problem.
It was
She
very
said,
much
let's
was
call it
rough.
what it is.
Yeah, it was tough. I'd say definitely before dating. I'd say by the time we got married, we had pretty much kind of like, because we were together for like almost 5 years before we got
Yeah.
married.
Mm.
So it was kind of like we knew who we were. We knew like, our personality types. So that wasn't really much of a surprise. But in our dating relationship, it was bad. Like conflict was constant. The way that I expressed conflict and the way that Devon did, we just like
Yeah.
blow up really.
Mm.
I would be crying. He would be silent. Like it would just be like, it was just like we were both very we're on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
it would cause a lot of like tension where we would both hear things that neither of us were saying.
Mm.
So it was definitely a problem. I'd say probably for like the first 2.5, 3 years
Yeah.
dating, it like existed very strongly.
Yeah.
And you could just see the slow progression of it get better and better.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I would say it was night and day between our marriage relationship and our dating relationship, because it was that tension that always, like, it wasn't like just small like clashes. It was always the big
Yeah.
blow-ups,
Mm.
just because of how we saw the world in terms of, oh yeah, should we take this head on, or should we just like be recluse and not talk about anything?
Yeah.
And yeah, like as we progress, it was better. Now it's like, yeah, we kind of just allow it to happen, and we just
Yeah.
take care of it like right away.
Like, yeah, if there's a conflict now, it's like, oh, let's talk about it. Okay, then we're laughing the next.
Yeah.
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 Within the same day, within the same like hour. Like it's not, before it would be like these arguments would last and they would carry into like multiple days. It would be like exhausting. We would both be emotionally exhausted
Mhm.
afterwards. And like I remember Devon always used to say this line, "We're just so different." And I would literally be like, "Of course we're different. We're different people. Are we
Yeah.
supposed to be the same?" And I would always like come back with like, "Of course we're different. Like we're supposed to be."
Yeah.
It, like being different isn't like the reason why we're having conflict.
Yeah.
The reason we're having conflict is because we're refusing to like work together.
Yeah, that reconciliation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think even that speaks to how God has made us differently, innately as men and women. And it's like, I guess I kind of want, because I know the background. Like, you're my best friend.
Right, hey.
You married my best friend, your family, your friend.
Maid of
Welcome. Yeah. Hey guys. So I guess if you could give some background on like how did you guys meet, what attracted you to one another, all that stuff. And then I guess we could eventually dig into a little bit of like, because like it sounds all dandy, like, yeah, we're good now, you know? It's like, but I mean, 5 years of going through that and then eventually getting married, but like kind of getting to the solution part of it. So
yeah.
first, how did you guys meet? Like, were you friends? What was it like?
So we met at a church thing. Our families kind of like came together. Didn't really know Tamara at all. Didn't know her family.
Yeah.
We just kind of went to church. We'd see each other on occasions. So we'd like hang out. But it was just like, how would I explain it? Yeah, Tamara, and she's on the older end. She's a cougar. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
14 months older. I wish you guys could see Brian behind the camera like dying.
I'm just kidding. Guys.
I'm 14 months older.
Not a cougar.
No, she's not a cougar, but she was, for me, like she was older than I was. So I'm like,
and Devon was younger than I was.
Yeah.
I was not interested in him.
like we were in like complete like
Literally.
different headspaces. Yeah, she hung out with my older cousin, and I thought she was just like, yeah, she's over there kind of thing.
Yeah. We were definitely just like acquaintances.
Mhm.
I think like he comes from a really big family. So like you were with your cousins and living with your aunt and uncle, and there was like 10 of them. So there were so many of like his family members. my family, I'm like one of like 2 adopted sisters. And so like, and then obviously you have Rochelle and her family. All these families were like hanging out. So we were all like, you know, Rochelle met Duvon probably the same time I met Duvon.
Yeah.
So we all kind of like grew up together, like these late teenage years. But like I'd say we met in 2015. There really was no like relationship. It was literally just like, oh, he's
Yeah.
Duvon.
Yeah.
And I'm Tamara. Like we weren't like,
everybody was just a group. It wasn't
Right.
anything like, oh yeah, this is so and so's friend. It was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
they're all a group.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, you didn't set out with the intention of like, this is going to be my wife or this is going to be.
no.
I guess even so, because I think one of the important components of relationships is like this friendship,
Yeah.
like platonic friendship. I think sometimes in Christian culture, we can put so much pressure around like, you need to find your husband. You need to be getting
Yeah.
yourself ready. Not even just Christian culture, but I think even like
Yeah.
I come from a Caribbean background. You come
Yeah.
from a Caribbean background. Black culture, like all of these cultures coinciding and saying this is the goal. Like it almost feels like marriage is the end goal.
Yeah.
Like once you reach marriage, you are successful.
Yeah.
You have done God's perfect will for your life.
Hallelujah. Die right now. You're good to go.
You're good to go. And it's like, no, actually, there is so much in your singleness that you can do as well as in, you know, a relational aspect of marriage. So I guess in friendship, if you guys can think back hindsight, what were traits that might have attracted you as a friend, just as a friend that you like maybe saw traits? You're like, oh, that's a really good trait to have in a friend.
I'm trying to think back to before we were close.
Sorry, take your time. We got time.
Yeah.
I would say for me it was the compassion. Like Tamara, she cared about people. And you can see it. Like she wore that on her sleeves. Like she cares about, when she cares about you, she cares about you genuinely. So that would have drawn me as a friend. And I think that was also a trait that I was looking for in a partner. But before the partner part, it was like, oh yeah, she would be a really dope friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say like Duvon was definitely hiding in the background a lot. So seeing him in the early years, like getting to know him, he didn't want to be seen. Like it was very clear. Like he would like be in the corner, like on his phone, or like he wasn't the loudest person in the group. When Duvon did speak, it was very much kind of like it was like this slow humor. Just like this like quiet humor. It's like when he did speak, you were like, what? I didn't know I didn't know that was your personality.
You could talk.
Like, yeah, you talk and you're kind of funny. So it's just kind of like, oh, he was a cool person. Definitely like super quiet though. So like I really didn't have much to gauge off of, like, until obviously we started getting closer. By that point though, it was already kind of like leaning into like more romantic. But like I'd say in the early like acquaintance kind of like mutual friend relationship, it was definitely just like, he's really quiet. I don't really know much about him. When he did speak, it was like his humor was also like really innocent. I don't know like if that's, I remember there was this time we were at like a bonfire and there was this girl that very clearly liked him, and it was her birthday and he was like wishing her a birthday, and Rochelle's like, cut this out.
No, it's me trying to figure out what time this is. I'm being nosy in my brain.
And he like said all of these like beautiful things. And like I remember you and me and I think somebody else went into the kitchen of like the church and we were like, hey, like, you know, that like probably sounded like you're really into this person. And Duvon was, are you serious? Well, that wasn't I was just trying to be nice. That wasn't my intention. But he was like innocently did not even realize like that him just being kind would be like seen that way. But he was just a kind person.
Yeah.
But like it was like, oh no, that person like you don't know that she likes you. Like he just didn't even have that belief that somebody, I guess, liked him.
Yeah.
So
that is so interesting. Like these are even traits that you guys can look back on. A part of me, like this is like so unfruitful. I remember the moment and I'm like, who was the person? It's not important.
You don't remember the person?
No, not right now. But it'll come to me after we turn the cameras off. Yeah. I'm literally sitting here racking my brain, but I remember the moment. Like I remember these people in the kitchen saying this. I'm like, who was it?
Was it we were talking about?
Yeah. I think those are like beautiful things though. When you think about how those traits, is there anything like those traits attracted you guys to one another?
Yeah.
Is there anything And this is like interesting on the flip side that maybe back then maybe repulsed you. Not repulse. Repulse is such a strong word.
You just repulsed me.
You repulsed me. Is there anything that you were like, "Ugh, I don't like that about them, or it
Mm.
steers me wrong, or maybe I just don't pay attention to the trait in them?
Probably how young he was.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like I was literally like, oh no,
Yeah.
absolutely, because back then I was very much, I will never date someone younger than me. I
Yeah.
will never marry someone yet, not even a month. I was
Yeah.
like, not even a month. Da, 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 da. I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So his age, like I didn't even look at him. Like
Yeah.
I did not look at Duvon in any type of way until, I mean, I don't know if this is like a spoiler alert. It's not a movie. But like he ended up moving out of Maryland and moving to
Yeah.
New Jersey. So it wasn't even until he moved away that we kind of like even developed like a friendship.
Yeah.
And that was literally just because I remember I was reaching out to him because I just felt bad. I was like, wow, he just left all of his family. He just moved to New
Mm.
Jersey by himself. Like, because I didn't know what his relationship was like with his family back up in New Jersey. And I was like, hey, I just wanted him to know, like, hey, like we know that you're not here anymore. Like we miss you.
Mhm.
And so I was just reaching out occasionally, just like probably like once every like 6 months or so,
Mhm.
just like saying like, hey, Duvon, how are you doing? We miss you down here.
Mm.
When are you gonna come and visit? And like it was through like those types of messages that I think we developed some level of
Yeah.
friendship. But like yeah, before then it was literally just his age. That was probably the only thing. There was nothing
Mm.
character wise that like I was like, oh,
Yeah.
wouldn't like him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just his age.
Just his age.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. What about you, sir?
Trying to think. That entire time I was thinking, I was like,
He said, please keep
what
talking.
repulse?
Repulse is such a strong word, but was there anything that you're like, maybe was it her age? Did you think she
Mhm.
was too old for you? Maybe this is gonna sound so crazy. This is so like surface level,
Mhm.
but I think when you guys started dating, you went through your natural phase, and
Yeah.
I went through a relationship where somebody didn't like me
Mhm.
being natural. Anyway, guys, ladies, if they don't
Mm.
like you in your natural form, they ain't for you. But
They ain't for you.
they ain't of God.
Mm.
Anyway. But yeah, I don't know. Was there even anything that was superficial? That's the
Mhm.
word, superficial in that way that you were like, oh, maybe I wouldn't have dated a black girl or anything of that kind.
Mm. Something that may have like come up subconsciously was the like how comfortable she was in her own skin.
Mm.
I would say like yeah, like it was I guess it would be for the younger me that's kind of looking at this moment.
Mm.
It was a bit intimidating
Yeah.
to see a girl that's like very outgoing. She said what was on her mind. Like
Yeah.
people called it loud, but I just called it I just thought it was like confidence. And I'm like, man, she's so confident.
Mm.
Like I don't think I could I'm not even in her league. So it was that idea of just like, man, she's so confident with her own self.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, do you have a question that triggered inside of your brain for him?
I like that's what I was thinking probably was the thing that put him off.
Yeah.
Because like I was too loud.
Yeah.
Because that's like what I like was always told, especially like from his family, like they were very traditional. And so like my what he's describing as confidence was seen more as like rebellious or like outgoing or like too loud. So like I know that was kind of a turn off for a lot of Christian guys. It's
Mm.
just kind of like I do say what I mean and I am outspoken and I am kind of like boisterous. So I was like, yeah, no. I think in our early dating that showed up.
Yeah.
So like yeah, I can see that it showed up a little bit.
Yeah. What do you mean by it showed up?
I think there would be some moments where if we were around that crowd, I think Duvon would feel uncomfortable with my like my bigness.
Yeah.
My like openness of space.
Yeah.
I think sometimes and this is kind of where some of the tension would come
Mhm.
because tension I think in relationships always comes when we believe we can change the other person.
Yeah.
And I think there were moments where Duvon was uncomfortable with like my like big personality or like my opinions. I think sometimes he would try to dim my light just a little bit.
Mhm.
Not anymore. Like that's
Just
not a thing
immaturity, you know?
Yeah, it's just immature. It really was immaturity
Yeah.
on both of our parts.
Mhm.
Because then I would be like extra loud. I
Mm.
would be like, you ain't gonna dim my light. Like,
Yeah.
I'll show you because I was like, no one's gonna make me feel small.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. How did you guys work through that? Kind of going back to that how did you hold space to say, okay, this isn't you being loud, or I shouldn't be necessarily ashamed of this. I like you, like how did that not deter you guys from breaking up? Because I think in a lot of relationships that could be enough
Hmm.
evidence to say I don't need to be with this person, especially when you have, outside voices
Yeah.
that might be saying this. And we haven't gotten to this yet, but you guys have alluded to the fact that you were long distance,
Mhm.
Hmm.
you weren't living in
Yeah.
Maryland.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how did you combat that?
It did cause us to break up.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
it's like it
spoiler,
did.
they broke up, but there's
Yeah.
They're still here.
It's like no, it actually did. It was too much.
yeah.
Like
Oh.
it was too much.
Mm. That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I think going like rehearsing the same arguments over and
Mhm.
over and over again,
Yeah.
and just like I think we both had an idea that we could change each other. Like
Mm.
I think I wanted to kind of like make Duvon into this like this man that I believed he could become, and I
Mm.
think he wanted to make me into the woman he believed that like he wanted me to be or I could
Yeah.
become. And so I think that tension was just too much.
Yeah.
Like we were both like still immature too.
Yeah.
I think Devon was 14 months, more immature than me. But we were both like immature, I think, in our ideas of like he was my first like serious boyfriend.
Mhm.
And I was his first serious
Yeah.
girlfriend. And so it was kind of like I think there's just a lot that you have to work through.
Yeah.
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 Like age wise, relationship wise, Christianity wise,
Yeah.
like long distance.
Yeah. I think the environment for navigating those kind of difficult relationship talks, we didn't have. I didn't. I don't think we had those safe spaces where we could like talk to someone who's already been through it already
Yeah.
and who have gone through the whole thing and they're on the other side. So I think we kind of had to like work at it together and make it ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was so
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I don't even think like looking back, I'm like looking back and scanning. I don't think there were relationships that we really looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think I necessarily had a relationship that I was like, I want my relationship to look like this.
Mm.
Like, I didn't necessarily have that, and
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for
Yeah.
you, but I don't know if you had that either.
Yeah. I don't think I didn't have the model of relationship where I'm like, yeah, this is what I want 30 years from now.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I think even to that point, when I think about like what were your family systems like before you came into this too? Because that has a heavy impact on
Yeah.
yeah.
how you come into a relationship. You shared that you both came from larger families. You have a total of 7 of you, so 5 siblings, and you said you're 2 adopted. Well, you
Yeah.
including the 5.
Yeah.
Like even your parental households, all of that. So when you were coming into the relationship, I'm sure you don't realize what you're coming in with. So you're unpacking these things as 2 people are coming
Yeah.
together and trying to, coincide and hopefully walk towards marriage.
Yeah.
Because in the Christian faith, like we date with intention.
Yeah.
So what were things that you came in your dating relationship with, and even your marriage, that you weren't aware of that affected you from the way that you were brought up as kids?
That's a good question. You want to take it first?
Again, back to the point of being comfortable and saying the things that you want to say or you feel that you should say. I think for me, it was because of how I was raised. It's a different, like in my household. It was very, trying to find the word, not domesticated, because that sounds crazy.
Traditional.
Very traditional. Yeah, very traditional.
Traditional gender
And
roles.
traditional gender roles. And like for me, I was coming in looking for that in Tamara, and like wanting her to be that thing that I saw, even though I was like, man, I actually like who she is as a person.
Yeah.
It was like this switch in my brain of, yeah, I like how she is, but I also want her to be like this specifically.
What was the thing?
Obedient, submissive,
Oh, okay.
small.
Yeah, or like
yeah.
just like this supporter. And I look at that now, and I'm just kind of grieving that idea that I was having that thought, her to be like submissive.
Mhm.
And I look at it now as like subservient, and it's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Bless you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, and even to that, I think we were even in the car the other day, and it was like we were riding in the car, and my brain was just going, and we were listening to music, and then I literally just like turned on the music. I was like, "Yvonne, thank you." It's like, "Thank you,"
Mhm.
because we recently made like a huge transition in like religious spaces,
Mhm.
and it would have been very easy because of the religious background coming from for Duvon to very much throw me under the bus.
Wow.
Like as a woman, like just in the community we were a part of, it would have been very easy to just be like, oh, she's just a woman. Like
Mhm.
she's a wife. And like it would have been
Mm.
very easy for him to like latch on to like different labels that had already like, you know, for women that tend to speak out to be independent, like seen as like rebellious or like
Mhm.
whatever, trying to stir up something. It'd been easy for Duvon to do that, but like instead he's been like he's stood by me, like he's protected me, he's like stood in front of me and like been like, no, actually my wife can speak, and like allowed me
Mhm.
to have a voice, and not just have a voice, but like he amplifies my voice.
Yeah.
Um and so like I think like looking back at like you had this like inner kind of battle going on with who you are,
yeah,
and then also with like how you were brought up, of just like that tension. And it's like cool to see like now, you know, 7 years later, is like you're not that guy.
yeah,
Like he's not that guy.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, you know, I can be safe, and I can be like I can take up space.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have a husband who has like, you know, so much ego or pride that he has to make me small in order to feel big.
Mm.
But like he can actually like let me be
Yeah.
just me. And
Yeah.
so that's really cool. Like I'm
Mm.
grateful for that.
Yeah. And so like even that insecurity that you experienced
Mhm.
at back in 10 years ago. Wow. 10 years
Oh,
ago. That
each.
insecurity has like been something. Do you feel like it's something you've surrendered to God in a lot of ways in order, both of you, you know, a lot of your insecurities? Because it's like, how does God work into all of this? You know,
You know,
how do you know, like I think this is a question a lot of young people or just people in
Mhm.
general that are seeking marriage. How do I know I'm supposed to marry this person? How do I know God is saying yes to this
Yeah.
person? I guess what kinds of things do you have to surrender personally to know like God is saying yes?
Mm. That is such a hard question, honestly, for
Yeah.
me. Because I can't tell you like I had this like, yes, you are doing like there's like no skies opened up. It wasn't like this big moment. I feel like
Mhm.
in a lot of Christian spaces, they're like, yeah, you'll just know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
I was like, unless we're completely wrong and like this isn't it. But like
Nah, y'all look
I
good.
like I didn't have that experience for me personally. There was a tension. I
Mhm.
literally like when we were in those like early years, I would be like, Lord, like I don't want to do this anymore. Like
Mm.
I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. Like I'm tired of being hurt. I'm tired of like having this conflict. I don't want to do it anymore.
Mm.
Like there would be many times where I was like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And this is not a prescriptive,
Mhm.
please, like, because I tell people all the time, I'm like, yes, if I was me counseling me, I would have told me to leave.
Right.
Like I would have told me to break up and just be done.
Mhm.
And also that wasn't like what God had for me.
Mhm.
Right? That wasn't what God had for us. And I'm thankful because like we're so different than who we were like when we started dating. Again, that's not prescriptive.
Yeah.
Like if people in relationships that are causing any of the ounces of the things that I was experiencing, like you need to go. Like genuinely, like I don't like unless God is saying something different, like leave. Like I don't know if that's like what God has for us, but that was what God had for us.
Yeah.
And so it's like I can't tell you that it works out in other circumstances. I
Yeah.
can't tell you that it's like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I just know, again, it wasn't like you're going to marry this person. This is a person for you. It was just kind of like, just wait. Just like keep going.
Just wait.
Just like
Wow.
keep going. Just like, and I'm like, okay. I think the other element was for me personally, I genuinely trusted that Duvon loved God. Like
Mm.
that really, because I was like, okay, you know what? If he loves God, and he was yielding to God in so many other ways. And so I was like seeing the fruit of that. And so it
Mhm.
was like, okay, if he truly loves God and God loves me and God loves Duvon, God is going to change Duvon. Because honestly, in the early relationships, not throw you under the bus, there's a lot of I think just like emotional immaturity
Yeah.
that was causing so many of the hurts.
Mm.
Right. And so I was really just trusting. I was like, God, like you got to change your son. Like you got to do some work on your
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
And I think you can even speak to
No,
like
I it was definitely emotional immaturity, and like we even started the conversation talking about how that she was older, and emotionally she was probably light years ahead. Like and that stems from how I was raised as well. Of some things you just keep in and you don't express at all. Like even to the person that's closest to you, you don't express it.
Yeah.
And that affected our relationship so much that every time that there would be something that would be presented, it will be this defense that comes up right away. Like she would be faced with a wall every single time.
Yeah.
And yeah, the emotional immaturity on my end, man, I had some come to Jesus moments
Yeah.
where it was either continue this relationship and continue to hurt this person, or like leave the relationship if you're not ready. Because I had one of the moments, those come to Jesus moments,
Yeah.
where something drastic happened, like my phone broke. God broke my phone. That's what I'm going with. God broke my phone, and like I heard him clearly. At one point, like we were at this pass in our relationship where I was like, yeah, maybe I want to do this relationship thing, or maybe I don't. And like I hear it clear as day. Like God was like, stop messing with my daughter. And I was like, okay.
God had my back.
I hear you now. And I felt in that moment, my phone was broken for like 6 months, and I took that as a God saying like, all right, dude, I need you to work on yourself or do something.
Yeah.
And after that 6 months, like something happened, something different happened.
Jesus.
But it wasn't it. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't this drastic change. Like, oh yeah, I'm one way, and then I'm next. I'm like,
It was slow.
It was like a slow 6 months. 6 months is like
Mind
half
you,
a year.
Before the 6 months, when his phone initially had broken, I don't know what, maybe it was God switched something in me too. I was like, we're done. Like, I'm done. I blocked him on everything. For the 6 months, his phone was broken too. I didn't even know his phone was broken.
Yeah. Man.
But it was just like, I was like, oh, I'm blocking him. So even if he tries to reach out, I'm done.
Yeah.
So it's like I blocked him on every platform, his number, deleted all the texts. I was like, you're out of my life.
And I think like that in and of itself is a God thing, because it's like she's at her end, but I feel like God was just kind of putting me at the starting line. And yeah, it is what it is. Like it's like he was putting me at the starting line, and it was like both of you are going to be able to meet each other if you're not even at the starting block.
Yeah.
And you probably never get to the starting block. So I need to do this, separate you two, like for you to get yourself together.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that was a blessing in disguise.
It was very much a blessing, because I was tired of being played with. I said, I'm done. This is stupid.
Yeah, but it's so simple. Like God said, I'm gonna take the small thing. Like, and it sounds like, oh, just a Gen Z or a millennial thing, like attached to your technology. But it was like God said, stop messing with my daughter. That preaches.
Come on, God has his children in mind.
Yes, he does. In all aspects, right?
And you responded.
Yeah. And I know you were going into something else. Just the question before was like, why or how you guys know you were for each other and meant to be together. And again, it wasn't this like clouds opening up, but I felt when I was in that New Jersey season, it was very hard. And it was a hard that I felt like I was the one that was manufacturing the struggle. And in a lot of the things, sometimes we get into those places where we're manufacturing suffering when God is calling us to an open heaven, a blessing. And I felt like in New Jersey, I was manufacturing suffering, and moving back to Maryland, it was like, yeah, you're in this open heaven. And I believe that that's where our relationship flourished the most. When I moved back to Maryland, we were able to have those hard, and it wasn't easy either. Like that connection back to seeing her all the time and seeing her every day. Like we had the clashes, we had
Yeah.
those much needed clashes, but it kind of like grew us together
Yeah.
in another healthy way.
Yeah. It's interesting because like you started out in Maryland. You guys started dating when you lived here?
No.
No.
Okay.
We
Just-
started long distance. I think distance for when did you move here? 21?
21, yeah.
So we were
started
like long
for,
distance from 18 to 21 with
Okay.
all of the once he moved here, like we'd never broke up again. He moved here.
Okay.
yeah.
The breakups, a couple of them happened all long distance.
Yeah.
So that was all between like 2018 to 2021.
Yeah.
But by 20, like I think we, yeah, I think
Yeah, we
It
were.
was also COVID.
Yeah.
yeah. So like we didn't get to see each other from like January of or March of 2020 until like June of 2020, I think.
Mhm.
So it went a couple months of not seeing each other.
Yeah. And did that put an effect on the relationship, or was we're already used to like not seeing each other? COVID just,
Yeah.
everybody else can feel what we're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like because we would try to see each other like once a month,
Yeah.
but like sometimes you just can't travel up to New Jersey, or can't travel to Maryland, or can't travel to Philly or wherever we would meet.
Yeah. My brain has two routes of questions. I'm going to say
Okay.
both of them, and then we're going to decide where
Okay.
we're going to go. You guys talked a lot about transitions, and so
Mhm.
you guys were experiencing transitions already in your relationship, right? So even that, I want to talk about the transition from dating, engagement to
Yeah.
marriage, and then I also want to talk about the fact that you guys dated for such a long time. That's not
Yeah.
typically the norm.
Do not recommend.
That's not the norm typically.
Yeah.
And then just the pros and cons to that. But I think what I do want to get to before all of that, and maybe we'll save this to the end, you guys let me know. You guys shared, this was prescriptive for you.
Yeah.
What are the signs of someone that like should walk away? Like when do you know, hey, maybe I actually need to walk away from this relationship because I want this to be fruitful. Like if there's
Yeah.
somebody that's saying, oh, I'm actually in this relationship and I've been in this for like 2 years and
Yeah.
all these things are occurring and I think God is telling me no, but maybe I'm like, when do we know to walk away?
That's a really good question. I think again, the thing about our relationship from my end that was so clear was the fruit of Duvon's life.
Mm,
Like he talked about like, yeah, God said to stop messing with my daughter, and he did.
mm,
It was like he heard the voice of God and he yielded to it. I think sometimes in some of these Christian relationships, I think people actually aren't submitted to God's voice.
mm,
And I think if you are in a situation where you're experiencing this tension of like, oh, this really, like I'm struggling in a relationship and this is harmful. The fruit of that individual person's life is what is going to give you the cues.
mm,
Like if their life is not like, if in all of their life, they are disobeying God, they
mm,
are mean, they are unkind, they are cruel to people, they
Mhm.
are when God corrects them, they reject his voice of correction. I think a person who is unwilling to yield to God's voice and who is unfruitful in the fruit of the spirit, like they
Mm.
don't have patience, they don't have kindness, they don't have anything. Like
Yeah, that's
like you
good.
shouldn't be in that relationship.
That's good.
I think with Duvon and I, it was really just like it was truly just immaturity. It was not a character flaw. It was not like he's a narcissist. It wasn't like he's any of these people. This was a person who experienced a lot of
Trauma.
I was like, I don't know he's gonna watch it, so I didn't want to say it. But this is a person who's just experienced a lot of heartache and
Yeah.
heartbreak and didn't have like strong attachments. And so like Duvon just didn't know how to in a close relationship.
Mm,
And so the only person who he had ever trusted was God.
mm.
And so like for him to now extend from God to now also another person,
Another
huge step.
That was tough.
But like I think for people who are in relationships, if that person doesn't even have that God intimacy, like I think that's clear from their life.
Mhm.
Like, is God their number one? Is God like the persons they love? Because if you trust that God is working in them
Mhm.
and that you see the fruit of God working in them. Like I saw
Yes.
fruit. Duvon changed.
Yes.
Like Duvon did change. Like he was receptive. It was hard. It was painful,
Mhm.
but he was receptive. He was accountable.
Mhm.
He was always like accountable. Like, oh wow, I have really, really messed up. Like I
Mm,
really did mess up. You are absolutely right.
that's
Like he would
good.
acknowledge that. And so I think we're gonna have tension, we're gonna have heartbreak, we're gonna have pain in relationships. People will tolerate different things. but like if the person you're with is not accountable, if they are unyielding, if they refuse to change, if you don't see the fruit of the spirit in other areas of their life, and you genuinely just like you don't even see the fruit in their relationships with other people, like their family, their
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Like if they seem like mean to everybody, like what's the point?
Good.
Person,
Yeah.
Yeah.
leave.
Call it what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if, as well, adding on to that, if the person that you're pursuing or trying to get into this intentional dating, going to marriage relationship, if they're, I believe that if they're not the person putting God first, I think that's also not just a red flag.
Mhm.
But it's just, it may not be something that you should be pursuing in that season or moment. Just kind of going into like a quick little story of when we were in that dating phase, long distance. Tamara was like, yeah, I feel like this is the relationship that God wants me in, and we're supposed to be together. And like I genuinely prayed. I prayed and I asked God if this relationship is supposed to go to marriage or whatever. And the answer that I thought I got was no.
Mm.
I told her, yeah, God told me no.
Because I asked
We're
him,
not supposed to be together.
I said, because I was tired of getting played with, I said, you've prayed about it. Do you feel like there's a future for us? I said, I know where I stand. Because y'all, the level of confidence me back then had was crazy. I said, this is how I feel about you. This is how I feel about our relationship. Where are you at?
Yeah.
I was like, is it anywhere? And he literally told me, I'm sorry. He gave me a bachelor rejection. I just don't see a future with us. It's just not in it for us. And I was like, okay, that's here. And I was fine. Like I was like, all right, I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna leave. I'm like, if you're telling me God has told you no, I'm not gonna argue with God.
Yeah.
I feel like he gave me something different, but maybe I'm caught up in my feelings. That's
Yeah, I would say also just watch out for the God card. Because that could also
The
be
God card.
it's so
a-
manipulative.
a tactic. And
When people
immature
say-
me, I would say like to me, I heard no, but God was actually saying not yet. Like that was actually the thing, not yet. And it
Mm.
was in between those moments of like the ebbs and flows, like the big clashes. And I believe like God was trying to spare us. He was trying to spare
like
Tamara.
just wait, wait.
Or just hold on, like just wait
Yeah.
a minute, like mature, grow. And we're jumping back and forth in between like the things that happen, but that was before the phone breaking. That was before the like the big blow ups of
Yeah, this is pretty early on.
just
Mhm.
like hold on,
Yeah.
I got you guys. And I think if the person that you're pursuing for marriage, if they're not willing to like wait, I think that's also something to be alarmed for.
Can I just say though, after he got this whole no and he told me that, I was fine because it was pretty early on. I said, okay. I said, that's fine, that's okay. I'll walk away, I'll leave. I got no problems leaving. There's a whole other element I'm not gonna talk about on the podcast, was like I think was reason why it was so cloudy.
Mm.
But I think it's funny because he then kept doing me.
Mm.
After he told me no, he then kept sliding in my DMs. He kept texting me. When he would come visit in Maryland, he would always talk to me. And I literally told him, I said, you said there was no future. Why are you trying to lead me on?
Mm.
I literally was like, I come to find out after we started dating, when we got like really serious, he was like, I was just worried you was going to get taken by another guy. I was like, you were stringing me along just because you weren't actually crazy. That is actually crazy. That's what this man said.
Yeah,
to me.
don't do that, guys. It's not.
That's trash.
That's
behavior.
that God card you were talking about. The
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm just, but you know, and no offense, like you in the past, I mean, because we were best.
Yeah.
I can't lie, bro. I was like, leave them.
Dude, Rochelle was such a good friend though, because she like, as much as she didn't like, she was like, this is not it. She was always just like, well, friend, let's just look at what's happening. She would just always like reflect to me like what was happening. She never like, he sucks. She
And-
never said that.
Yeah, be a realist. I would say like be be real, like with what's right in front of you, and not what like you're not a contractor.
Right.
You're not a build-a-man or a build-a-woman.
Right.
Like they're not gonna just
Yeah.
like they're not gonna be molded in your image.
Mhm.
That's what God
Yeah.
Right.
God is making them and
Yeah.
who He wants them to be, and all we have to do is wait. It's the same thing that God told Adam to go to sleep. He pulled from Adam,
Yeah.
from his rib. He pulled out Eve. What Adam had to do was wait,
Yeah.
because
that's good.
Adam saw that in the garden there were mates in every single species. There was
Yeah.
a mate, but for him there wasn't any. And God told him to, all right, I'm gonna put you to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you in I'm gonna put you in a period of waiting.
Yeah.
And if Adam hadn't waited, who would have known?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't gotten Eve.
Yeah, God's are worth the wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah.